Now, to be clear, this video isn't speculation. I'm making this video because the director of Remake Part 3 confirmed that the slap fight is returning. I'm merely posing the question on whether it should, and if it does, what, if anything, needs to be changed. Now, I'm not debating whether or not the slap fight has aged poorly in the years since release, but it works in the original game due to its cartoonish style and exaggerated designs. The original Final Fantasy VII has a much lighter tone than this remake trilogy, meaning its silly moments are genuinely silly, whilst Remake is funny out of the absurdity of its characters and wacky situations. It still impressively maintains the original's comedy, but the reasons it's funny in Remake are different to the reasons it was funny originally. My main issue with the slap fight is its placement. Tifa escaping Junon is a big moment. It's her and the rest of the crew kickstarting their journey as they venture off to find Cloud. It's a big cinematic moment as she dives off the cannon onto the Highwind, and it's already a lurching tone shift to go into that exhilarating scene right after she just had a slap fight with another busty lady. What's more, in Part 3, this moment is going to be even more special, because this will undoubtedly lead to our first time controlling the Highwind in pristine HD glory. It's definitely going to be one of the biggest pops in the game. It would be like if Rayleigh and the Dragonborn got into a scuffle 10 seconds before stepping out into Skyrim. It'll be a weird moment due to the more serious tone of the remake. The fight is also a weirdly out-of-character moment for Tifa. She's a martial artist and has a tomboyish attitude towards training and fighting. She's the last person I'd imagine getting into a cat fight with another big-chested girl. It's just not her style. Also, the difference in physical strength between Tifa and Scarlet is in sharp contrast now due to the more cinematic style of the remake. We've seen Tifa decimate powerful monsters with just her fists. It couldn't be clearer that she's one of the physically strongest members of the party. Meanwhile, Scarlet has no combat prowess whatsoever, using mechs and robots in her boss fight. So it's out of character for Tifa to slap her, and it also means she's holding back if she doesn't send her flying with the first strike. So not only will the scene feel out of place due to tone, but due to the relative strength of the characters involved. My next point of contention is how many players grew sick of Rebirth's over-reliance on minigames. So inserting one at the culmination of the first act of the game would feel tiring, especially since these games have been exhaustive with the amount of minigames within them. But all of this is a moot point. There's no reason to debate or criticize the fight, as we have confirmation it's returning. So how do they go about addressing these criticisms? Well, if there's one thing this remake trilogy loved, it's stretching out short and sweet moments from the original. So what if they turn this into a fully fledged boss fight? No, it would be way too jarring for a defenseless Scarlet to tank limit breaks from Tifa. Could they fully lean into the comedy by making each slap a Final Fantasy XVI style cinematic attack with a massive over-exaggerated damage number from each slap? Again, that's probably going to take away from the scene immediately following with the grand reveal of the Highwind. But I think there's definitely a dramatic change they can make to not only save it, but improve it. Tifa isn't the only one who's trying to escape Junon. This section also sees you take control of Barret, Ketchi, and Yuffie. And putting Yuffie in the slap fight instead of Tifa would be narratively and thematically perfect, because Yuffie has a score to settle with Scarlet after the intermission DLC. Because Scarlet is responsible for the death of Sonon's sister, as well as the countless weapons she's produced slaughtering countless Wu-Tai soldiers. This is a new addition in the remake, so by following the original game, Yuffie will never get a chance to enact vengeance on Scarlet for these crimes. But putting her in the slap fight and letting us control her would be the most cathartic way possible of administering vengeance, letting us pound the button with every mash to Scarlet's smug mug. It's also totally in character for Yuffie to act so childish and irrational, just letting loose with her childlike slaps. She also has nowhere near the physical strength that Tifa has displayed in the remake, so it won't feel like an imbalance of power since Yuffie's strength is in stealth and decisive blows. Overall, I can't honestly imagine this moment being changed so significantly in the remake, but I'm just not sure how well it plays given the setting and tone of the remake. While we probably will get a simple cat fight between Tifa and Scarlet, I hope they find a proper way for Yuffie to get vengeance on Scarlet when the time comes. I'll be back in 2 days. In the meantime, here's a video about the perfect introduction of Sephiroth.